Hey guys, just going to do a quick video on three simple tips to help up your energy levels. Especially this time of the year when it's still kind of that winter weather, and it's dark in the mornings. It's really really cold. We just don't even want to be outside. We're lacking in vitamin D. And amongst a load of other factors, our energy levels can be really up and down. So I'm just going to give three simple kind of tips or advice to help you that if you apply them are simply going to give you better energy levels. None of them are new or secret or innovative, but I promise you if you start to apply them, say this week, this time next week you will notice the difference in energy levels. Now again, it depends on a lot of things. It's multifactorial. If you change one thing or you change two or three things, but you're still doing a lot of other terrible things, you mightn't feel the effect as much. But that being said, these three changes, to somebody who hasn't applied these, who is doing the opposite at the moment, you're definitely going to feel the benefits. Not just your energy or your overall health will feel it, but specifically this can help you if you find your energy levels are just not good at the moment. So the first one, it's very simple but very effective, is drink more water. In my experience, and I've been guilty of it myself, not as much anymore, but I see a lot of people just not drinking enough water. People just, basically not even starting off the day when they get up in the morning, having, a glass of water. For me, by default, that's the first thing I do when I get up. Even if I'm not having a meal straight away, I'll get up and I'll have a pint or at least a glass of water, to knock back my vitamins and just to get some water on board, start the day, to hydrate me because, through the night you've been sweating and stuff like that, you've been kind of dehydrating. So start the day off by just taking in some more water. People will say it's very hard to get the water in. They just tend to have a bottle of water at lunch or some water, like a glass of water with each meal. And my advice with that is to actually buy the bigger bottles of water, the cheaper ones, the 1.5 or the 2 liter bottles of water. If you buy them, your chances are you're going to drink a lot more water. So, for example, getting the six packs in Tesco or Lidl or Aldi, have one in the car, have one beside the bed, and always have one kind of with you, at the desk at work or wherever, and always be sipping on it throughout the day. As the day goes on into the evening, you can start to reduce your intake because you don't want to be waking up in the middle of the night having to go to the toilet. But generally, that's a huge one that is really just going to benefit your body in so many ways, by keeping you hydrated, of course. But I find also people tends to, in my experience, really really undernourish themselves with water, and being in a kind of dehydrated state is a you're not going to perform at your best, cognitively, and physically, and definitely at work. That's one of the things that's going to contribute to feeling tired, the eyes closed and stuff like that. So yeah, tip number one there, consciously increase your water intake. The second is a big one, and again, it's gonna sound so kind of cliche, typical, but start to eat more real food and less processed food. Buy more fruit and veg. Get some of the real food that's out there, and get a lot more of that in your diet, rather than a large majority of your diet coming from processed foods that we know taste lovely, give us a burst of energy for a while, but within an hour we're slumping or we're craving, and just feeling like crap again. Aiming for real proper food that is going to give us slow digesting, slow energy, and also going to carry a lot of micronutrient value, which in turn is going to help with us, give us energy, and just nourish our body overall. So I could talk for hours about that, but we know at this stage, and if you follow me and have a look through my page, you'll know what I mean by real food. Again, it doesn't mean you have to cut out all the processed food. It's not about that. But if you can get to 70, 80, 90% of your food intake, of your diet, through real fresh nutrient dense food, trust me, your body and your energy levels will thank you for it. The third and arguably the most important one, is your sleeping pattern. I know this myself because it's something I'd always struggled with, and I'm starting to get a grasp on it now myself. We love to easily say that we're bad sleepers, or that we're really really tired the next morning going to work or something like that, and usually it boils down to a poor night's sleep. And I've done a post on this recently, about you might genuinely be a poor sleeper or an insomniac, but in a lot of cases people aren't taking all the steps they can to optimize a good night's sleep. So if you're having caffeine after 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, if you are exposing your eyes to blue light, like TV, the computer, the laptop, or the your phone, just before you go to bed, even especially if you're in bed, eating a heavy meal. When I say heavy, maybe a big meal that might necessarily agree with you, or that might take your body, you know, um, a lot longer to break down, and that might be kind of disrupting your sleep. So things like that are, kind of taken away from a good night's sleep. Take those factors into account, and then you're definitely going to notice you're getting a better night's sleep. But if you are, a lot of people don't have trouble at all. They fall straight asleep when their head hits the pillow. I envy those people, but if you are one of those, brilliant. Keep that going. My advice to you just there is to make sure you're getting the 8 hours. Minimum 7 hours. We know in some cases it's easier said than done if you have a very busy lifestyle. You might have to be up very early. A lot of people have kids, they get woken in the middle of the night. My advice is to just really try and prioritize your sleep as much as you can. It's such an important component of an overall healthy body and lifestyle, and especially for somebody who's training, or an athlete, in terms of recovery. So say for example, maybe if you're kept up with the kids, or the child at night, maybe a power nap at some stage during the day. A power nap meaning only maybe 20 minutes of your eyes closed. It doesn't mean you go back to bed for 2 or 3 hours. A simple kip just to kind of make up for that loss of sleep, and help your body kind of recharge the batteries to a certain extent. So kind of keeping yourself recovered, and making sure that sleep is a big priority there, and not just sleep but quality sleep. Sometimes we think we might be getting good quality sleep, but we might be waking in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times, so you might need to look into that. Like I said, there's factors there that are probably playing against you having a good night's sleep. So if you are someone who goes to bed at 11 o'clock, because they have to be up at 7, but they get to sleep, but you find you're waking a couple of times during the night, there's something wrong there as well. So you might need to look into that, what's causing that, or you might need to look into getting something like a certain supplement that might help that. But definitely, getting a healthy sleeping pattern, generally, like a good rule of thumb is trying to, and again, this is easier said than done, because sometimes everyone leads a different lifestyle, our days can be different, but going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day, is a good pattern for our body to get used to. So something like that would be, something to maybe try out. If you find you're kind of all over the place, sometimes you stay up later for the sake of watching some shit on TV that you don't really want to watch. So try that. But that third one is a very very important one. Your sleep, your recovery, is very very important, and we all know simply that if we've had a very bad night's sleep the next day, our energy levels are never that good. We're completely up and down. We're hanging on by a thread, or we're relying on coffee or sugar to kind of keep us going throughout the day, which is terrible. And it just shows that kind of knock-on effect that poor sleep, and poor recovery has. So that's it, guys. It was just 3 simple tips I wanted to give. So the first one was more water. Make the conscious effort to drink more water throughout the day. Start the day off. Have a pint of water first thing in the morning, and make sure you have water with every meal. Secondly, more real food. Start eating more of the real foods: fruit, veg, salad bowls, foods like this, and a bit more or less of the processed foods. or just incorporate more of these foods into your diet. And thirdly, get a better sleeping pattern. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, and make sure that sleep that you're getting is quality sleep. Um, if you implement these three changes alone, I can guarantee you'll feel a difference, a huge difference, especially if you're way off the mark on some of these. If you know if you're completely under drinking, or under hydrating, if your diet is kind of poor with, in terms of your ratio to processed food to fresh food, and if your sleeping pattern, or sleeping volume is all over the place. I promise you, if you fix these three things, you'll notice a huge difference. And then, like I said, the knock-on effect that's going to have, increased energy levels. You're going to perform better. Whether that's exercising, in the gym, you're going to perform better cognitively. It's going to have so many benefits, knock-on effect benefits, to you that you probably wouldn't have realized. So they're just three simple tips. I hope this helps. If anyone has any other questions on this specifically, feel free to drop me a message. If this has helped anyone, or a friend it might help, please like, share, or tag one of your friends in it. Thanks. Good luck.